What's up, everybody? It's Chris Johnson here. So, my personal capacity here. So, personal capacity. So, anything happens, everybody. Anything happens. I cannot call home and say that, well, you know, he was in his press capacity and this. I'm in my personal capacity. So, what it is. So, you see here. So, the DOT commissioners are over there. He's inside the school. So.
Yo porque tuve que trabajar. No, yo no trabajo nada aquí, te fue una cosa ya que empezó. No, claro. Está un poco retrasado por el caso,
Yeah. So, DOT's here. This, we got the interpreters, the ASL people here. So, Mark Sappman, do not be complaining about what ASL they're here. ASL's here. We got two ASL people here for the sign language. You know, Transalt here, Famous Safe Streets, TA, Famous Safe Streets, Rise Alliance here, Open Plans right there, and there's going to be more people coming soon. So this is Western Clean. So. Plans here, so.
Dobry wieczór Państwu, nazywam się Barbara Posłyk i jestem tłumaczem języka polskiego. Jeżeli ktoś z Państwa potrzebuje serwis tłumacza, proszę bardzo się zgłosić tutaj do biura i my będziemy pomagali Państwu. Dziękuję.
Buenas tardes, yo soy intérprete de español. Si necesitan ayuda me pueden buscar a mí.
আমার নাম আমি বাংলা ইন্টারপ্রেটার। যদি আপনাদের কারো বাংলা ইন্টারপ্রিটেশন দরকার হয় আমরা এখানে আসি আমাদের সঙ্গে
Καλησπέρα, είμαι μεταφράστρια ελληνικών. Αν χρειάζεται βοήθεια με οτιδήποτε, παρακαλώ, καλησπέρα.
We're going to start time in 3 minutes, but thank you for your patience.
César.
Wow, that's here. So you over here in the back, State Assembly member candidate Cliv Valdez is right back there. So that's up, everybody. She's right back there. So she's running for State Assembly. So it's over here. Clear Valdez over there from State Assembly with what's her name? Laura Shepard. You have the commissioner here, Yandes Rodriguez. He's here.
I'm always amazed.
second. Hey, Claire. Hey, nice meeting you in person. Hope you take out one next year. Thank you. All right, so.
And I can tell.
Yeah, 30 ya. So, one more time, for anybody accusing anything. So, you got trans out here, open plans here, Devil State Streets here. I'm in my personal capacity today. Personal capacity, so nobody can say that I have my press pass, you know what I'm saying? Look. Hey.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Just take this seat and give me that one because we need some picture for the index so many can.
No, I'm here, man.
Okay.
No, yeah, no problem.
Thank you. No, pero que eso no es problema. No lo vamos a. Siéntese aquí, venga, déjale los 3 celulares.
¿Y dónde está?
Yo tengo uno, pero yo soy carro, que yo le digo, yo no saco con el cuadro.
Did I count the large roll? 1 second.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Real quick, everybody. My name is Albert Silvestri. I'm the Deputy Queens Borough Commissioner at New York City DOT. Thank you for coming here tonight. We have Commissioner Adonis Rodriguez in the house to hear directly from you, the residents of Western Queens. We're very excited to get our program started momentarily. So, just a couple of quick housekeeping items. This is a public meeting. It was blasted out. We wanted everybody to come to share their concerns, their hopes, their aspirations, their ideas for improving transportation in Western Queens. We ask, as good New Yorkers, as a son of Queens, we're respectful. We're talking. This is a constructive meeting. We're here to listen. We're here to talk, and we're here to work together. Because we're as New Yorkers, as residents of Queens. That's how we do things. All All right, so we want to show the commissioner how we do things in Queens in a respectful way. So thank you for being here. We're going to get started momentarily. We're going to pass out cards where you can write down questions, and after some comments and a brief presentation, we're going to jump into Q&A. Did I get everything?
Not everything.
All right, thank you.
¿Cómo está?
Yo también, es que yo salí tan rápido. Te digo que van a estudiar. No, te la puso en el suelo. ¿Te encontró? No.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out this evening. We're really excited to have you all here. We spent the day today with our Commissioner, Iván Rodriguez, being in the borough. He spent the whole day in Queens. He's often out with me and my team, our operational divisions throughout the year. But today is Commissioner in your borough, and we're just so excited that we had him for the whole day, speaking with local residents, speaking with elected officials, speaking with the men and women that repair the streetlights, repair potholes, etc. So welcome, Commissioner. And I just wanted to say that we're going to get some brief introductory remarks from Commissioner Rodriguez. Then we're going to move over to a presentation kind of to demonstrate our toolkit for the ways that we enhance safety and mobility on Queen Street. And then the really important part, which is where the Commissioner gets to hear directly from you your questions, your concerns, and your ideas for safer streets. So thank you very much, and I'll turn it over to Commissioner Rodriguez.
Come on, let's give Nicole a round of applause. I prefer that even though we had a great team to do the presentation, why don't we go into the presentation to see what is DOT, and then I want to say a few words after you see everything that involves our agency. Is that okay?
Good evening, everyone. So let's start a little with presentation to tell you guys what we will focus working on to make it safer and more inclusive. And first, let's start with some significant numbers. UT managed over 6,300 miles of streets, 12,000 miles of sidewalk, 794 bridges.
Sorry, if you don't mind. I want for you to really pay attention to these numbers because that's where I would say when it comes to the question and comment and feedback, everything has to be seen from the perspective. As all those numbers that you will see made New York City DOT the most complex transportation system in the globe, based on miles, per mile. So everything that you're seeing is happening in a little piece of land that we have that is only composed by 350 square miles. That's what everything. So everything that we have to be planning for truck drivers is not a truck at the bad one. It's that the consumers are ordering online through UPS, Amazon, FedEx. 80% we have 80% order once a week. And then we have 24% of Yorkers ordering 4 times a week. So everything that we will talk, everything that we ask about, more space for SNY, think about affordable housing that we have to build, all those trucks that have to be going there. Everyone that's thinking about a big manufacturer, they have to be, DOT has to be giving a space for them to go through. 200 million bike trips we have last year, and now we have 650,000 everyday bike trips. We also have to give a space for them. New Yorkers have realized that when they walk, it's better for the health, it's better for the environment. So we also have to give a space on the sidewalk. So I want people to really look about all those information that we have. This is the key information as we're engaged in question and comment about how do we see our city today. DOT oversees 27% of the land for New York City is under this agency responsibility to manage and organize.
Yeah, exactly. So there's more than what we can see from here, DOT managers. And also when DOT plan to put improvement on the street, we'll consider demographic and other important elements for better accommodating how the neighborhood is and what how the neighborhood develops. So as this data shows you can see from 2010 to 2021, there's more population are increasing, more employment, that means more people coming into the city, living in the city, and more jobs are created. So when we are trying to manage the street, the services, we will consider those situation conditions. As you might know about the Vision Zero, Vision Zero is to eliminate all the threats from traffic crashes, regardless of whether on foot, on bicycle, or inside of a motor vehicle. So you can see from this bar chart, since 2014, the traffic fatalities are much lower, and that's because since 2014, city initiated Vision Zero. And DOT implements Vision Zero program through different projects and measures, such as putting the bike lanes in the Vision Zero corridors, and also setting up the camera regulating the speed limits in order to enforce a better safe driving. We also take equity into consideration. You can see from this map, the darker purple color representing that area are more concentrated with the population, the residents of normal population, and also with working class families. So when we're looking at the student program, we will consider those tenants as well, and also examining students with whole projects in those areas. So now we would like to show you some before and after photos of the street that you'll see any changes to the design or improvement in some Queens neighborhoods. This one is before DOT made the changes to Boston and 41st Avenue. And you can see in this after picture, we put the new signage of to ban the curbs and also build the island for pedestrians in the way and try to cross. So this design explains how our traffic calming program are able to use the turn speed to enforce safer turning behavior in order to eliminate traffic fatalities and severe injuries. We also implement a lot of street improvement projects in schools. So take this one by the Stone Boulevard and Austin Street. Well, we can see that there's two schools there, and there's a lot of foot traffic at that intersection. So what we do is to put a crosswalk and a crossing line for students and non-students in cross the street. And this is near this rich neighborhood intersection. We try to improve the pedestrian safety and connectivity by building a wider, bigger pedestrian island so that people can travel along this corridor better. And as we mentioned earlier, with more and more people coming into the city for living, working, and traveling, sidewalk can be, in certain neighborhoods, can be overwhelmed by pedestrians. So we usually try to make a bigger space for the street space. As you can see in this picture, in New Street Flushing, DOT widened the sidewalk. So we reduce the crowdedness and let more people to use the street. We also try to make the session more accessible for pedestrians to pass by. So this example in Highland Boulevard, we removed the Jersey barriers and painted the crosswalk so people can have accessing the crossing. And this before Quinn Boulevard image, we can see there's no pedestrian lane or pedestrian path before. So now, with the pedestrian lane and the pedestrian path, people can safely cross and also more safe cycling on Quinn Boulevard. And Quinn Boulevard is one of the typical municipal corridors. DOT does not operate public transportation, but we try to make the bus move faster. And one of the things we can do is to add busway. Most busways allow buses and trucks to travel along the entire corridor. Some busways are in fact from 16 to 7 p.m. on Fridays, some are in fact 24/7. The last three pictures is going to show you how DOT made the changes to make a better public space area. So a couple of years ago, the area of Corona Plaza was just used for parking, just parking, vehicle parking. So DOT tried to make this unused space and turn them into something that can better serve the community. So now you can see in Corona Plaza, we have trees, greenery, street furniture, other company features, and there's more activities or events that people can come to Plaza and enjoy the time there. And that concludes our presentation. And now
Can we get the lights, please?
So, I don't know if I think that person is the but el reference thank you to Principal Rubiosi and Assistant Principal Arroyo. Let's give them a big round of applause. Before we take questions, and I'm going to say other few words, but I also want to acknowledge Nicole, a great, as I said before, have someone that works with me shoulder to shoulder who run all the operation at DOT. Matter for joining to also safety work before I address you.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's a pleasure to be here tonight with all of you. We love to have these nights of engagement with the community. We're here to hear from you on any topics of concern to you, any questions you have about the agency, anything at all on your mind. It's a great opportunity. You know, our borough commissioners are on the ground and their staffs every day of the week talking to communities. But we also, the rest of us, love to come out here and understand what people are concerned about and how we can be more responsive to the community. So it's great to be here tonight and looking forward to hearing more from all of you.
Thank you, Madam. So again, let's put this thing on perspective, right? 6,300 miles of the street. That's DOT. 4,000 miles of sidewalk. That's DOT. 794 bridges and tunnels. That's DOT. Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan, Queens, plus all the bridges and tunnels that we have. That's funded by our agency. And then the cycling and the ferry, that is the one that carries the larger numbers of passengers. Not only residents of Staten Island, but individuals in York from Manhattan on the border, they also work at Staten Island, plus a big attraction for tourism. Because when they take the ferry, they go to the Staten Island side, and they're able to enjoy the night view of the Statue of Liberty and other night view of our downtown Manhattan. So that's a big responsibility. Almost 500 men and women work at DOT only running the ferry. So here we also have 1 million street signs. Hundreds of people from our agency. Again, taxpayer dollars. We are the one who put the money for the agency to be able to have a big team running that operation. 13,250 signals. Everywhere you see, that's also DOT. 315,000 street lights. We have so much marketing in our street that we can go around the globe 8 times. There's 350 million lines of marketing that we have in our street. So, plus, I was born and raised in the Dominican Republic. So I was born in Miami, some of you have been there. We are more than Casa de Campo, okay, in Punta Cana. And I say, I've been there. We're more than that, right? But my comparison in that place, the Caribbean, where I come from, or 350, but there, that island is composed by 31,000 square miles, or 12 million people, but only 10 million visitors. New York City, we are not 12, but we are 8.6 million residents. We had last year almost 50, not 10, almost 50 million visitors. And before COVID, we are 65. And however, we are not 31,000 square miles. We are only 350. So it is in that context that, that I want for us to think about it. Transportation. What are the challenges? How far have we been going? TA, Family for Street, important advocates. And especially, those of you who are part of that Family for Street, they have lost their loved one. However, they have chosen to keep them alive by fighting so that not all the children, not all the senior citizens, not all the cyclists lose their lives. And we've been there shoulder to shoulder. I was a council member for 12 years, and I was a co-prime of the street master plan. I was the co-sponsor of the resolution to reduce the speed limit that TA, Family for Street, we went to Albany, and we won the battle. So we've been there. And because of all the work that we have done, and it is unfortunate that sometimes, here we are holding this conversation, and then we get home, and sometime at 1 in the morning, at 12 p.m., at 4 in the morning, we get that information for the NYPD, another crash. Another person lose their life. And that person is upper class, middle class, different social and ethnic background that we are losing in our street. One of the things that Mayor Adams has recognized is that traffic violence is not far as gun violence. Those are violence that unfortunately have been produced by reckless drivers. Most people who drive in our city, they do it right. They respect the law. They know that 25 miles is the speed limit in New York City. But there's others that for whatever reason, it looked at the image of the dreams of New York City in the 1930 and the 1940, includes someone that had a car. It's what some people have put in their head that the street belongs to them. And then in my family, that sometimes they challenge me and say, well, but we buy a car, we pay the insurance, and now you're removing this parking spot to build another bike lane. And what we are saying about here in New York City, we have many areas that we have transportation districts. We have residential area in Quinn, in Staten Island, in Brooklyn, that are not connected with a train station, are not connected with a good bus service. Therefore, we recognize and know that we also have to organize our streets for those great New Yorkers to drive. But at the same time, we're telling the brothers and sisters, we are not saying that you cannot drive when you get a ticket with the speed camera. You got a ticket because you were driving 11 miles above the speed limit. No one, not a good driver, wants to be in a crash and seeing someone in front of the car who lose their life bleeding. No one. You will never want to be in that situation. And being behind the wheel is a big responsibility. You have never heard in the news a cyclist was driving and he hit a car and the driver died. You never hear the story, a pedestrian was walking so fast and he hit the car and the driver died. Because the vehicle, the trucks, the car, they weigh thousands of pounds. So being behind the wheel is a big responsibility. You cannot be drinking and driving. You cannot be all the doctors who do research, all the professors they have right now. If you drive at 25 and someone is going distracted, using their phone, if someone is in a bike in front of you, first of all, if you are at 25, you will have enough time for you to reduce and not to hit that person. And if you will hit someone driving at 25, it's a low probability that that person will be ending in critical condition or dying. The same data indicate that if I'm driving at 35 or above and I hit someone, the probability that a person will die is much higher. So which one should we reinforce? The one people going at 25 or going at 35? I think, yeah. 25. 20, 25 are the two options that we have. And I am saying that because I need hope. After we leave this great town hall meeting, we go and spend time with family. And they are rabbi, they are reverend, they are pastor, they priest. We go to those institutions. Help me speak to those leaders in the interfaith community. Tell them to take 2 minutes, once a month, to talk to the members of the institution about the importance to be responsible when they drive, and when they drive, to drive on a speed limit. That's the most important ask that I want to ask you. To be part of that movement, a movement to save life, a movement to avoid someone. I'm a person of faith. I'm 58. My younger brother did the first communion with me. I come from that background. And people will say, God had a day when we're going to die. Well, I, in a personal faith, at some point we will die. And most people who die in a crash was not because God had got that day for them, but because it was a reckless driver. And because of all the work that we've been doing in our city, what we have seen is a big change. One death is too many for Mayor Eric Allen and for me. And as we're speaking, we never know if tomorrow going to be another news saying another pedestrian or cyclist was hit and lost their life. Unfortunately, that's a reality. But all of those has also to take credit, to realize and recognize that the data established that, as we are speaking today, since 1987 to today, the United States has the highest number of pedestrian fatalities. However, in New York City, because of the work of everyone, we have the lowest number of pedestrian fatalities of the last 114 years of pedestrian fatalities. And even when we put all the data together, pedestrians, cyclists, motorists, we have the lowest numbers for the last 3 years. It means that we go in the right direction. Going in the right direction doesn't mean that there's not much more that we can do. Yeah, we're doing more daylight. And we know that works too. We've been doing hundreds of them every year. But also, we've been working with changing the signal at the intersection. We declare, as I made my transition from council member to commissioner, immediately, the first thing that I asked, and I started with the advocate, was let's declare intersections as sacred places. Because that's where most crashes are happening. And most crashes involve when the driver was driving, making the left turn. Because when we drive and we are looking at the left turn, we have less visibility. We have more space from when we are sitting to the right side, so we are able to have more visibility. Therefore, as you see the work that we have done we have made a lot of changes, redesigning our street, separating the time for pedestrians to cross and for driver to turn. But also, you know that the RPA, we were there. I passed a bill that mandated DOT. Now I'm not comfortable with that. To, put more RPA as possible in our intersection. To give more time for pedestrians to cross. That's our revolution. Our revolution needs to save life of beautiful people. Children, senior citizens, working class, middle class, and upper class. So again, I just wanted to put in perspective what it is that we are doing. I want to put in perspective about the work that we are doing in the city. And that's when it comes to that piece related to this. Then there's the other thing related to sidewalk. As I say, is on our institution. Among the almost 6,000 men and women that we have at DOT, almost 1,400 are dedicated only to roadway. So when you see that the city is paving the street, that's a big division that we have. We produce 50% of the asphalt in New York City, and we buy the other 50%. We have over 1,000 men and women in charge of the sidewalk. We have hundreds that they do the cycling at a ferry. We have hundreds whose only responsibility is to work with the signal system. So again, I just wanted to give you that perspective and to share with you whatever with DOT. And always, again, I started being organized back in the Dominican Republic. I came in 83. I've been part of any movement that you can name it. I've been there. For peace, for social justice, for immigrant rights, for student rights, a teacher, a council member, and now as a commissioner. I know that there's only one city, and I know that there's only should be one agenda, and that agenda should be saving lives. So with that, I'm ready to take any questions.
We were going to do like first row first, but please, the commissioner called on you first.
Commissioner, thank you, and members of the DOT, thank you for being here. I appreciate all of your work. My name is Tom. I serve on Community Board 2 and I'm a member of the Blissville Civic Association. Appreciate hearing about the successes. Appreciate hearing about the plans. I'm here today to talk about a community that has 14 blocks, that has 11 blocks of sidewalks. 3 of the blocks have no sidewalks. We have one bridge serving as the one of 3 gateways between Western Queens and Brooklyn. However, all these investments I've heard about haven't come to our little section of Long Island City, the 11101 zip code on the other side of the tracks. We haven't seen safer streets. We've asked for sidewalks, we've asked for a study countless times. When will we see safer streets come to Blissville? Thank you, sir.
Yes, come on, let's give it a big round of applause. That's it. That's the top priority. So, as you look at me and you hear me speaking, you can see that, first of all, English is not my native language, right? So, and therefore, I always say that I'm the face of New York City of someone that understands equity and fight to have a voice.
Yes.
So, that, it doesn't matter the composition, the ethnic background of the community. Our commitment on the major items in my soul is to address equity, giving equal attention to all communities. So my plan is, Nicole will follow with you, and let's see whatever, any new changes that we got to do, we will work with you to make those things happen.
I might not be the face of Blissville, but I'm the voice of Blissville. We represent, there's over 80% minorities in Blissville, underserved, so we are.
No, but that's my point. So all I say is about that, as I've been fighting since I got here, and at the moving habitat say, I see you. I know that sometimes there's community that no one has seen. I know that in the past the attention was given to downtown Manhattan, downtown Brooklyn, and Long Island City. What I'm doing as a new commissioner is to be sure that we spread the law, that we spread the investment. So this is something that we need to see here.
We were good enough in 2018.
I have a question for you, Tom.
I just have to. In 2018, we were good enough in the city of New York to double our population by sending 4 shelters to Blissville. When will we see the investment?
Are you going to reapply for an open street? Can we work with you on an open street?
You've done that already.
Okay, but we want to, it's an annual.
What we need is safer streets. We need bulb outs. We need protected
We get you.
We need the Blissville Greenway. This is what we need.
We're going to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jim, and I'd like to ask about an update on the last mile delivery. What you talked about and touched on, how many people are getting between 1 and 4 and 7 deliveries a week, and how we can have less trucks in our neighborhoods that really damage our streets. They kill our people, they hurt our people. And one of the things I know you guys were working on is the last mile delivery, where that might go out in cargo bikes. And I'd love to see that in Queens, love to see it in Western Queens, and I'd like to know if there's any updates on
So first of all, thank you for the 34 Avenue.
And thank you for everything you guys do for 34.
We do believe 34 Avenue, the 1.8 mile that being transformed from one for only car use to also use a great mile nationwide. So thank you to you guys.
So my name is.
So the answer is yeah, but I used to be a social study teacher for 15 years. And we know those of us that know about the Industrial Revolution, that sometimes people say, let's destroy the machine because they are our enemy, at some point. So it's not the machine, it's not the trucks. It's that 80% of New Yorkers, even though who organized against Amazon, when there was a proposal to bring Amazon to Queens, they are ordering online. And so we are the victim of our own success. So 80% of New Yorkers are placing an order once a week through UPS, Amazon, FedEx, and 22% of New Yorkers are placing an order 4 times a week. Yes, so what we are doing, what we need to do as the city, is all of us to recognize the reason why there's trucks is because when we build an affordable housing building, they come and deliver the concrete, the material, when they build in the luxury apartment, when they build any new factories, when they are responding to the ordering, those trucks are coming in. What are we doing? As I say, the last mile. We know, first of all, that the Igno and Jose Reyes, who is part of my team, he always remember me. He said, by the way, Jose is the first person that we have on DOT. His job is to connect DOT with all immigrant community. That's the job that we also are doing there. So what we always remind me is about, don't talk about UPS, FedEx, and Amazon. Bring it to the personal connection. Address it from the point of view that New Yorkers are ordering. So why there's so much trucks? Because as we say, 350 square mile, everyone is ordering the food, everyone's ordering the clothing, the big spectrum that people ordering online. So that's our reality. What are we doing? Last mile. What is it we are saying? With the curbside, and we're doing a pilot project, and we focus on first one in the Upper West Side, from 72nd to 86th, from Columbus to Broadway. We are telling the community, imagine from a starting blank space, how would you like to reorganize the curb space in that community? And that will mean a space for pedestrians to have more widening sidewalk to walk, a space for electrical charges, because we also want to see more New Yorkers who decide to have cars to go electric, a space to also tell anyone who is ordering in that community, let's be sure that those trucks will bring those boxes in a location in the last mile, and from there to distributing those boxes to the residential building, to the small businesses, let's incentivize for them to use the smallest and electric truck and cargo bike. So those are things that we are doing. We are in the process, and we are looking at a citywide solution for that.
Any Queens on the map yet?
No, I cannot tell you that one day, that's what's here. This, like, I'm not going to be, I live in Inwood, but I live in the east of Broadway. So I live in the part of the community that working class being always fighting for to have a voice. So I'm not going to be, I love my friend and colleague who live in downtown Brooklyn, Long Island City, in the Upper West Side, the Upper East Side. But I also need to be sure that the voices of all the community are also heard. So that, of course, we're coming to Queens soon.
My name is Christopher. What's your plan for universal daylighting? Universal daylighting, what is your plan for universal daylighting over New York City, starting with Queens?
Well, we do hundreds of daylighting every year.
So why is you're not pushing for daylighting on Myrtle Avenue where Kamari Hughes passed away? He was killed.
In any particular location where we have to be more active and aggressive, more than happy to work on it. So the answer is yes. Mayor Adams be meeting with the family. We've been meeting with the advocate community. And we again, while we are looking at everything from the perspective of our data analysis, and what we are doing is focusing on where are most crashes happening.
Yeah.
And as I said, everything that we are doing it, and the work of I take my hat to the advocate community. They're the one who always is making us accountable. And because of the great work of advocates, community board, elected officials, commissioners, mayors, we've been making so much changes that again, the data speaks by itself. Pedestrian-wise, we have the lowest numbers. One is too many. I visited a corner where the child lost his life. I had 2 daughters. We would never think about how someone will be when you lost a loved one by a reckless drive. So daylighting is something.
But I mean, that's really your priority. I think, I know you're busy, your administration is busy, but North Portland and Myrtle Avenue and Brooklyn. I know we're in Queens. I know we're borderline Queens, Brooklyn. That should be the priority. That should be the priority.
Yeah. So the answer is yes. We're looking at that area.
Yeah. All right. You're welcome.
My name is Duncan. I live in Ridgewood, Queens. On or not, I'm an active cyclist. I ride my bicycle everywhere. I wanted to ask a little bit about prioritizing pedestrian and bike connections at Cypress in Vermont, which is how you access Highland Park and the Ridgewood Reservoir. Basically, it's like an on-ramp and off-ramp to Jackie Robinson Parkway, and it's extremely sketchy and unsafe when you're on your bike. You kind of have to dismount and walk on a dirt trail to even get to the park. We don't have a lot of green space here in Ridgewood. There's a few small parks, but the Highland Park and the Ridgewood Reservoir is amazing. I love going up there, but wanted to ask about the priority for pedestrian and bike connections, just getting it up there. Because right now it's basically a freeway, and also to side along with daylighting at intersections. I think that's really key. Traffic diets, and last but not least, I establishing bike boulevards like y'all did at Berry Street in Williamsburg, which is fantastic and amazing. Saw the opening of that the other week. We'd love to have that here in Richmond as well. Thank you.
Yes, good question, and I will say something at the beginning, I will pass it to Nicole. And as I said before, if you look at anything that we are asking today, and even my team, my deputy commissioner and everyone, they had to keep me on check. Because I had decided not to change who I am. You know, I didn't rise to organize a commission. I'm someone that had most of those bills that now we are continue asking for. I carried those bills in the past. So I know the value of daylighting because as a council member for 2 years, I pushed for that to happen. So I also realize, I know how important it is to look at a greenway in the past. You think about greenway, when I started in 2000 as a council member, we were thinking more about having access to parks. How can we get the Central Park more accessible for pedestrians, for senior citizens? That's the way how we perceive when we talk about greenway. Not anymore. In 34th Avenue gave a Romano. What 34th Avenue said was, we're not talking about returning 1.8 miles, connecting with the park. What we are saying is about we're lacking green space in the street. Let's reimagine the street. So yes, one thing that we've been doing with the Greenway is last few months ago, Mayor Adams, they announced $1 million that have been used to reimagine a Greenway from, in this case in the Bronx, from the East River, from Van Cortlandt Park to Randall's Island. That was the first announcement. And then here in Queens, we announced the biggest and most ambitious plan of miles or more greenway. Again, what is a greenway? It's no access to park only. It's designating area that will be green, that Robert Moses also unfortunately disconnect community, especially community of color. They block access to rivers and water. So now we are working to reimagine how we can look at greenway, in some cases along the water, along the park, but in other cases about a street as 34. So we announced a Mayor Adams, the Premier in order, the plan of the biggest ambition plan of greenway across the 5 boroughs, not in the Bronx, but to the specific location that you mentioned and I put it on the call.
Yeah, so to answer your question about better connections to the reservoir, around Ridgewood, we have big plans in 2024 for working with the community, and I think we're also going to have to speak to some of our neighbors in Brooklyn because obviously we want to build out a connection. But we have been asked, Councilmember Gutierrez and Ridgewood Rise have been asking for a more robust network in Ridgewood, but also Councilmember Holden has asked for protected bike lanes on Cypress. So we've been doing a lot of planning. We will be coming back to the community, and the park is clearly a very popular destination. So that's something that we'll also be looking at.
Thank you. Now and then go back to you.
My name is Ernie Chiricelli. I'm a former president of the Juniper Park Civic Association, former community board member. I'm here today for the people on 69th Lane. They're having a major problem with traffic there. I can't go into the whole thing right now. I know you have other things to go on. They brought it up to community board, which I was a member of 30 years ago, and I was on the transportation committee. It was brought up to the committee. The people there weren't notified that they were going to speak about it, and they didn't have a chance for anybody to go there and explain their situation. I had all the streets in Middle Village. I did 30 years ago, there were two-way streets. I had them changed to one-way. I'm very familiar with the whole area. I would have liked to speak up for these people. What I request is a meeting, maybe with the borough engineer. This way, they could give their complaints to him, and I could explain the whole situation, because I know most of the streets, and I know what's going on there. Can we get a meeting? We're not getting anywhere.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Great.
But that's yes, and I will do my best also to be there with the engineer, with you and the rest of the team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your remarks.
And I'm sorry, by the way, your knowledge, and I want to be sure also this is something that we're doing at DOT, is of those years of experience that you have, our experience that also we want to bring and let's work with your knowledge that you have. So we're ready to have a meeting.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for your emphasis today on the comparison between the significance of traffic violence as compared to gun violence. It's not a contest, it's a tragedy. And so this colors everything I'm saying. But I'm talking tonight, just coming here. I live next to the Bike Boulevard on 39th Ave. Thank you so much. That's a wonderful thing for our community. But I came over here, and I hate to use bad language, but this is a shit show. I came over here on my bike, and I'm scared if I'm going to get home safely. You got to see the lights and the colors and everything else, but what is going on? I'm echoing what Duncan is saying, but it's more broadly, this whole area. Why is this area so unfriendly for people other than people driving cars?
Yeah. Okay, now we will. So the answer is I appreciate your voice. We will work with you, like as I mentioned before, my approach on equity to be sure that all community are on the table, that we invest the resources. And again, I always want for us to put our conversation on perspective as how New York City is the one that has the lowest numbers of pedestrians, the one is too many, but that's happening because all the work that we have done it. But any particular area, we cannot take things for granted. And what we know is that as anyone who drives in this room, for me it's about, as the mayor says, to be sure that we all have to educate ourselves and educate others, understanding that the street doesn't belong to someone that has a car only. That a street is a public access. That it belongs for someone who drives, but also belongs for the person who should be safe when they ride the bike, and for the pedestrian. And we also know that the senior citizen, and that's why last year we released a report together with Commissioner Lorraine Cortez with the story that we found out. I'm an ARP already, I'm 58. So when I push to make the street safer for senior citizens, I'm investing in me. Because at some point, until 4, again, like for me, it's about thinking about my soul. At some point, first of all, there's 1 million New Yorkers with some physical challenges. And we will be joining that community if we don't go soon in our life. So we have to plan to make the street safer for everyone, for the intersection, but I should say for all communities. So more than happy to follow you.
Hi, my name is Marge. I live in Woodside. I grew up in Brooklyn, and over 50 years ago, I can remember my parents parking the car on Sunday afternoon, so we would have a spot for Monday's alternate side parking. So parking issues in New York City are not new. But I'm concerned about a recent editorial I read where the mayor is talking about making a zoning change so that new high-rise construction would not be required to have even any parking spots. I mean, right now, they're not required to have one parking spot for every apartment, and that's fine. But in Western Queens, I feel that we're going to get hit. The people from the suburbs come in and parking in Western Queens when the congestion pricing goes into effect. So I don't understand why new construction in Queens would be allowed to pass and not provide any parking. Okay? It's going to be a big problem. And another thing is, you really need to work hand in glove with the MTA, that they have to improve their services if you want to have fewer cars on the road. Okay? My local train is the 7 train. It's a disaster as far as overcrowding and not enough trains. My husband takes the bus. We could walk to the 7. He takes the bus up to Northern to get the R or the N at 5:30 in the morning because he cannot get onto another number 7 train because it's full of people going to work in the hotels and restaurants in Manhattan. It's a disgrace that the 7 cannot run more trains. I know you're not the MTA, but to get cars off the road, you need to have an excellent mass transit system.
I get you. And again, a city of 6.8 million people, and I'm one of those 35 million different opinions when I'm not a commissioner. So this is a city that, you know, you have to have like a thick skin in order, first of all, being honest with the people. Like, you know, like, as I told my 2 years as a council member, anyone asks me the question, I say, I don't want to give you the bullshit answer of the politician. I'm going to give you the straight answer. You can agree or disagree. But what is happening is, you know, as you say, in particular area of the city of New York, you will have reality that people live in transportation, residential area. There's challenges there. But however, we have places in other parts of the city that people have great access to train, great access to buses. And what we are saying about, we understand, we have to plan from the government perspective that if someone had a car, it's because they really need it. In some cases, knowing those that live in, have a homeowner, that they don't have a good train near to the houses, but there's places in the city that if we don't take the necessary measures, some you can we have 2 or 3 cars. Yes, moving 1 car to use it 3 days a week. So we have to do on the policy side. By the way, the requirement of no parking to be required for the developers, even though the mayor announced it, but that's a council decision. So it's important also that you engage with your council member, the other elected official, because it's not an executive order. So be part of that conversation. When it comes to the train, I have to give a lot of credit to Andy Byfield, the former president of New York City Transit, because 7 train became the first one that we upgraded the signal system. That's the one, the 8 train, I live in England. When you are in the first phase of the train and you see the train moving, they move in a box. That's why you see those lights, red, green, and yellow. So there's already technology, already being applied in the 7 train that is not moving in those boxes. Changing the signal system, and that's why congestion pricing is important. Because the MTA will be raising $1.2 billion. That money we allow the MTA to borrow $10 billion, and that money is needed to upgrade the train services and the buses. However, I understand what you're saying, the 7 train order, but again, Jano is the chairman, and he is the DOT commissioner, and more than happy to engage in that conversation with him.
Yes, Richard Astoria, from Community Board 1, and also the Old Astoria Neighborhood Association. And one area of conflict is between the bicycles and automobiles, especially on intersections where there's no Jersey barriers. You cannot create a protected bike lane. But we have a huge lack of traffic controls and staggered lights. And if you're driving and making a right, there's a bike lane next to you, it's very easy to make contact with that bike if you're driving or vice versa, So you need to have traffic controls. You have them in Manhattan, and I notice that most bicycle operators do follow those signals. We need to have them out here in Queens. We need to retrofit all lanes, the bike lanes have been created, and no new ones should go in without traffic controls.
More than happy, I really do 100%, and then we will follow you.
Thank you, Commissioner. One local resident, also local city council member for the neighborhood of Richmond, Mass. I want to say thank you first of all to the DOT for coming to Ridgely especially because we don't really get the resources we need. So it doesn't mean a lot to have you here. I do also want to plus along with Tom said in Blissville in terms of even more investments and more taking more priorities for plus one is the collaboration with the MTA, plus one into connectivity to the reservoir, plus one to the shit show. But I also do want to talk about some priorities. So I've been personally starting $315 for lights. So in addition, we actually have a brand new T-town that a lot of residents in that area depend on. It's right on Metropolitan Forest. It's pretty much it's an area that caters to a lot of children because there is a local school right next to it. A lot of seniors in both Massachusetts and Richmond go here, but there's not enough street lights in that neighborhood, in that portion of the district. So if we can look into it, it would be a huge welcome. And the second question I had was, in terms of protection of crossing guards, what is the DOT doing? Because in the district, we actually, unfortunately, we had an incident. The crossing guard she survived was right at the Massachusetts border of the district. She was hit by a vehicle. So in terms of protection for crossing guards, pedestrians, cyclists, what are we really investigating? You know,
So-
employees can be safe.
Yeah, so we, you know, with the first one, we're definitely working hard to be sure that we continue doing the investment, doing everything that we can with the crossing guard. You know, we work very closely with DC 37, who also represent the crossing guard. And we know that, you know, we want all New Yorkers, and in this case, those who are providing the services in any field to be protected. So again, this is, we are doing everything, and again, this is not new now. This for decades already, all of us together, you guys in Albany, passing legislation here in the city, we making changes, we put in resources to be sure that we continue redesigning. Today I had a meeting. I spent my whole day here in Queens, okay? Which is something different. And that speaks to my commitment, and I refuse yet to be a commissioner and not be the council member and not be the educator and not be the teacher. So one thing that I told Margaret, my first commission, again, who oversees all operation, all union operation, is under her responsibility. From the bridges, the signal, the sidewalk, name it. So I told her, Margaret, I want to take our DOT to a high level. So one of the 3 areas, operation, and I'm able to come here and engage in the community and be in the ribbon cutting, because you don't see in the front page of the New York Post, the street of New York City is full of potholes. The streets are broken. The signal lights are not working. That's 80% of my job. To be sure that New York can get the services every day for which they pay with the taxes. So we have a tight operation run by her and my executive team. Then, because we are providing New Yorkers the services that they need, the bridges are taken care. The ferry is taken care. You don't go through the street and the signal everywhere are flashing and they're not working. They're working. And that's hundreds of people. Here in Queens, we run our command center. More than 300 cameras that we are keeping track on accurate time. The behavior of drivers. We passed a bill that I was a crime that mandate DOT that when there is a crash and the individual in critical condition of dying, not only NYPD do the criminal investigation, but I have a 24-hour team that they had to go to the scene of the crash. And we do the assessment and we do the investigation of the condition of those areas. It can be a Coast Guard, it can be whoever is in that area. So I'm really proud of the work that all of us been doing, again, running this department. This morning, before I started my whole day in Queens, I had a bagel, I was eating a bagel with the Ministry of Transportation of UK. Not of London, of the whole nation. Because they wanted to see how are we being able to do it. We have the largest protected bike lane in the United States. We have the largest dining out program of the United States. We have the largest bus lane of the United States. New York City Department of Transportation is larger. Besides Texas, California, New York as a state, we are as large as sometimes a 4 or 5 small states together. So, you know, it's, as the mayor says, it's a great honor. Someone that came here to wash dishes, that came here to do sandwiches at 55 Water Street, but put myself through college. And that's when we have the headquarters. Now be able, decades after, again, same experience. You can be an Irish, Italian, and you were descent, but your family came here 100 years ago with the same challenges. We can be Afro-American, we can be Latino, same challenges. And for me, it's about all those experiences that I have in my life at my age of 58, put me in a position to be leading this department when I know pushing around. When I say we're going to be following with you guys, if we feel that that particular community has not been getting the investment, it's a mandate that I get from Mayor Adams to invest equally. We need to spread it out. So again, we will continue working hard to be sure that all communities in the 5 boroughs get the investment.
We have time for one more question, but I assure you that the cards and me and my staff are going to hang out for a little bit, so we're happy to take your questions too. But these cards are really important. Please include your contact information and also the issue. The commissioner's office is going to review every single question and work with my office to, you know, get you a response. So with that, I encourage you to fill out your cards. My staff and I are going to be here, but last question, and I think this gentleman has been waiting for some time with his hand raised.
So I'm not the one who did the code that's it's not me.
I'm sorry. We have to get about 6:30.
Thank you very much, DOT. Thank you for coming out, spending your time with us. I'm a Middle Village resident on 70th and Penelope. I know we mentioned a little bit of our issue. During your introduction, your monologue, you mentioned something that kind of affects us, and so I just wanted to bring it up. You did mention left-hand turns is the most dangerous traffic issue that we face, and you also, you know, we have a revolution to save lives is to help those accidents that occur when you make those left-hand turns, and that's what we're kind of dealing with on 69th Place and Penelope, and we've seen the equipment go up. We've had meetings with Councilman Holden. We've requested slow zones, requested speed bumps over 10 years, maybe. His family almost, in front of me, almost got mowed down. 2 little kids and his wife, thank God. Nothing happened. Accidents, just accidents. Most of them do not get reported. They're hit and runs. I have a file that I kind of share with you guys. And it's incredible that people haven't gotten killed. I've talked to Councilman Holden's office, and I told them maybe we could get some help from the 104th. They said that the 104th is taxed as it is, and it was scary because that was on a Thursday, and on a Monday or Tuesday, the crossing guard at Our Lady of Hope, just north of us, was mowed down. And thank God there was a huge tree in the way, or else they would have taken out 4 or 5 more little kids that were walking by. So I reached out again, and still no answer. So the question is, we're trying to get a street reversal, and it's been in progress for, I guess, over 10 years. So we always see the equipment go up and down, and we've talked to Community Board 5, Holden. I just don't know.
So if you don't mind, let's take this approach. We will have a meeting next week with you and my team, and we will look at anything that we can do. Okay?
Thank you very much.
So again, like, we want to lead by results. Probably I have my accent, but as soon as my accent is my commitment to honor whatever, you know, I commit to do. So let's be sure that next week we will have a meeting. With that, thank you everyone. It was Nicole saying this is my last question. So muchas gracias a todos, and let's continue working together. Thank you.
Danny. It's over.